Dylan.
Crooner's Supper Club invites you to enjoy drinks, a delicious dinner, and live music from both big-name local and national artists in a wide array of styles. Before or after your show, check out the new Maggie's Lounge, a perfect spot to visit with friends. It's open Wednesdays through Sundays beginning at 4:30 with cocktails and light fare. And you don't need a ticket to enjoy the great atmosphere of Maggie's. Crooner's Supper Club off Moore Lake and Highway 65. A little piece of old-school nightlife in the 21st century.
Hi, this is Frank Brown, owner of Minuteman Press Uptown, Minnesota's only minority-owned union printing company. And I have big news. We've moved. Our new building in North Minneapolis is much larger with state-of-the-art equipment. That means we can get your projects done faster. We're on Washington Avenue North off I-94 at the Dowling exit, which allows for quick pickup and drop-off with plenty of free parking. And yes, we still print everything. I moved to MP Uptown because as a Black business owner, I want to be in North Minneapolis and help provide jobs. At MP Uptown, we pay above living wages, hire people who have made mistakes in the past, and believe in social justice. We have over 175 Google reviews with a 5-star rating. Let us handle your next print project because when you support our business, you support the community. Call 612-870-0777 or visit mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com. We print everything.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 38 and breezy with a high of 54. Cafe Latte is unlike any restaurant you've ever experienced. Grab a tray and pick from their award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. Cafe Latte, Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul, or cafelatte.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
You are right, Dega. This portion of the show is supported by Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon.
Right on. Hey, a lot going on. Let me just give everyone a little heads up here. We got former state representative of North Dakota, Ruth Buffalo, coming on, and also a sacred animal section with my wife, Wendy Pilot, and we'll be ending the show with that as we do. And she's done so many years, and I've learned so many things from her sacred animal portion of the show. Haley, we got some news going on here, and we should probably start off here with what's going on around Turtle Island.
Yes, well, there's definitely a bunch of things going on, but first I want to quickly mention our home station at AM 950. We have February is Listener Appreciation Month. And we want to just say a big thank you to all of our listeners, a big Pinagigi, Miigwech, Wopila for listening to us here on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota. And you can win prizes all month by liking our posts on Facebook, signing up for AM 950's e-newsletter, and calling into our local shows. And you can win prizes such as gift cards to restaurants and listener appreciation events and tickets to other fun Twin Cities events and a major grand prize at the end of the month.
I hope it's a car, and I hope we're able to win it. No,
I know.
Hey, I want to thank and thanks to the generosity of our member listeners. We have extra passes to give away, and we won't be giving it away tonight. But you need a pass to come see us, and it's almost like school when I had to write out those passes, Haley. Where bathroom passes and things like that. I'm sure you just walked out of the classroom and had a cigarette somewhere, but my other students had to get a pass from me.
Yeah, well, probably not in high school, maybe junior high I was doing that, but I know all about those passes. We would save them and try to reuse them and all that.
Oh, wow. Well, just so I used to get forgeries too, because I'd sign my name Pilot and then I'd put a star after it just to throw them off. And boy, I've seen some stars and pilots signatures on passes over the 30 years. So
I bet you did.
I got outsmarted again. What else is going on? I know there's we're excited we're excited for that event because we're going to be there on the 13th hanging out with all the celebrities and with Ghost Box Radio and Matt McNeil, and we're gonna, if they have too big of a line to sign autographs and shake hands, we'll get the overflow of that.
Absolutely. We'll take it over for Matt and Greg. Let's stick in Twin Cities events going on. I know we talk a lot about Minneapolis happenings and things going on along the American Indian Cultural Corridor down there. The American Indian Family Center has one of their calendars out. They put one out every week and they always have something going on. So this Wednesday from 12 to 1:30, they have Women and Mothers Support Group. Thursday from 10 to 2 is Traditional Crafting Group. And Wellbriety Medicine Wheel 12-step program meeting via Zoom from 7 to 8.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's on Thursday. And then Friday, American Indian Family Center, beginning at 5 p.m., is a women's sweat. And Saturday on the 10th, they're having an elder teachings with Maria Morin McCoy. And you can visit aifcmn.org for more info. And thank you to whoever makes those calendars.
Yeah, exactly. I always feel like we should have one master calendar, and I think people try to do that because I was double booked this last weekend, and I think you mentioned this yesterday. We just got to give a shout out to our listeners that do listen to us. And many of them, I know there was 15, 20 people that said that they heard this event on Native Roots Radio that went to a couple things in St. Paul, some art shows. And that's really cool to hear that response. And that tells me that there was more people there that just didn't even mention it. And so it's excellent that, I guess that people are listening to the show, Haley.
Well, that's always good. We appreciate it. Again, February is listener.
I guess that is the purpose. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Listener Appreciation Month. So we appreciate it. And another St. Paul event going on this weekend. We have Inde Young Center's 25th annual Cherish the Children traditional powwow, Saturday and Sunday, February 10th and 11th at Johnson High School in St. Paul.
Haley, that Inde Young powwow is always special, but it's always well attended and a lot of vendors out there. And I'm looking forward to that. I don't miss that one. And that's Inde Young, which we always kind of talk about is like Bobby Wilson and Dallas Goldtooth work there. It's a youth kind of crisis center where they take people in, and so they do a lot of good work in the community. And I don't know, this powwow rocks. So I'm excited to go to that and have you remind me to go. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll definitely be going to Inde Young's powwow. And you know what else is rocking? That reminds me, Pearl Jam, when they were here for their 2-night show, they donated to Inde Young's organization. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, there's going to be, like you said, a ton of vendors. I know Trickster Tacos is going to be out there. Some of our vendors, Woodland Indian Crafts, Creative Native Beading, Ninny Johnny's One of Ones, our friend Brooke LaFlo. And yeah, just a lot of familiar faces. So I'll definitely be out there this weekend.
Well, I know there's something in Wisconsin too that we want to talk about, and I'm excited about because it's the first annual one. Why don't we talk a little bit about that? Ho Chunk Round Dance.
Yeah, so this is the Ho Chunk Lunar New Year Round Dance happening at Ho Chunk Nation Community Center out there on Julie Street in Tomah, Wisconsin. Again, it's this weekend, February 10th from 6 to 10 p.m. Ho Chunk Nation's Lunar New Year Round Dance.
Yeah, I definitely want to make that out there. That's going to be a travel. It's going to be from where I'm at, probably 2.5 hours, but definitely have to check that out. It sounds pretty cool. And I don't think we have anything else going on this weekend here in the cities, do we?
That is a great question. I probably missed a few flyers, so I'll keep an eye out.
Well, I'll keep listening.
Yeah.
Listening for your updates, and then hopefully you'll remind me again later on. We're going to have former state representative of North Dakota, Ruth Buffalo, on, and then Wendy on the fourth segment with her sacred animal portion, which is always fun to howl, and we've gotten to be known for that, and that's exciting intro that we've been doing for years. Matter of fact, my Daga, I guess he would be your Daga too. Curtis was the first one to howl back in the day when we did that. Uncle Curtis, who, yeah. So, and then
That's cute. It's like a little family tradition.
Yeah, well, we stole it from him now, but yeah, and it's kind of a fun thing. So, we got anything else going on in the news? Did we talk about yesterday? And I don't listen to the show all the time, even though I'm on it, Haley. No, I'm just kidding. But did we talk about Governor Nome yesterday?
No, I think you forgot to bring that up.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Well, hey, a good ups with South Dakota reservation, Pine Ridge Reservation, not allowing the racist governor of South Dakota on there, and probably one of the front runners for Trump's vice president. Just crazy stuff there, and I'm glad that nation really stood up for what's right, and I got to give them a big shout out.
Absolutely.
Maybe
that's a wild story.
Maybe Ruth has something to say about that.
I hope so.
That's cool. Hey, Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. It's Haley and me chilling like a villain. Or is it plural? Villains?
Villains.
All right. We'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
We are your relatives.
We are your relations.
Brothers,
sisters,
sons,
daughters.
And some of us are your grandchildren.
We are your community. Historically, we held places of honor and respect. Because of the impact of colonization, some of us are rejected, thrown out from family, friends, and community, set up as targets for sexual violence, sex trafficked, humiliated, tortured, and murdered. Everybody has the right to be safe. We are your relatives. Remember,
homophobia is not traditional.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Life can be hard. Sometimes it feels like there's no answers, like there's no way out. Hennepin County's COPE Mobile Crisis Response is here to listen and help you find a way through whatever is going on in your life. Call 612-596-1223 for no-cost crisis support anytime, anywhere in Hennepin County. That number is 612-596-1223.
As we pack away the ornaments and bid farewell to the holiday season, it's time to unwrap the gift that keeps on giving, getting protected by a COVID-19 vaccination. This is your chance to make a difference, especially as our Native communities face higher COVID numbers. Those higher numbers underscore the need for collective action. So give the call and get vaccinated. The latest vaccines are not just authorized, but they're proven effective against the current variants. This is extra protection, even if you've already had previous vaccines, since previous vaccines will eventually wear off. Plus, the new shots are FDA approved for ages 6 months and up. A COVID vaccine is not just a shot. It's a pledge to safeguard the wisdom and stories handed down by our elders. So join the movement, get vaccinated, and make 2024 the healthiest year ever, securing a brighter future for our Native community. For more information, including details about clinics offering free vaccines, visit vaccines.gov.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Yes, it is, and we love that organization and all the things that they do around Turtle Island for our people. Hey, before Ruth comes on, I have this story here that we were talking about, and this is from Associated Press. The South Dakota tribe has banned Republican Governor Kristi Noem from the Pine Ridge Reservation as she spoke this week about wanting to send razor wire and security personnel to Texas to help deter immigrants at the U.S.-Mexican border and also cartels that are infiltrating the state's reservations. Due to the safety of Oyeta, effective immediately, you are hereby banished from the homelands of the Oglala Sioux tribe. President Frank Starr comes out and said in a Friday statement addressed to Noem, Oyeta is a word for people or nation. That's awesome. That's really awesome, don't you think?
I think so. I mean, we got to do what we cannot support people like that who say the, solution to a problem at our borders is to send razor wire down there and that's going to fix all of our problems.
Well, exactly. And, we talk a little bit about this, and believe you me, I don't condone breaking the law or anything, but this has gotten out of hand in a couple different ways, and that's the media and then what's going on down there. I heard a report of NPR down there, and we have a lot of people at the border that are, MAGA people that are hanging out with by the border and trying to raise heck. And people live on this side of the border and close to the border too, Haley. I mean, there is that, when it comes to people that are human, and there were no borders when Turtle Island was first here, and who's legal and who's not. That's in the last couple hundred years, we could say a lot of people were illegal, and we were legal here as First Nations, as the Canadians call themselves. The Canadian Native Americans call themselves.
Right. Well, even just us being Ho-Chunk in Minnesota, we're illegal.
Yeah, that's right. No, we still are, and not only that, but so is the Dakotas that live here too. I mean, I always like talking about that with us, but we're not alone on that, and so it's an interesting thing that we can be illegal in our own homeland, and people can be illegal in their homeland too. And there's always a little controversy about natives and who's native and who's not. We talk a lot about this too. Our Mexican brothers and sisters have been colonized too. Their original language was not Spanish. There's all these things that we don't talk about, or it's not taught to us in school. There just needs to be a big 101 on the true history of Turtle Island, and I don't think there is, or people want to. Ho-Chunk, again, we had that great book opening about to banish forever the secret society and the Ho-Chunk and the ethnic cleansing in Minnesota of our people. If you read the book, there were crops they were growing, and we were removed, and people just took over our houses. And there's history like that that's not that long ago.
Right. Exactly. Not long ago at all. Just a few generations ago, really.
Yeah. So what do we do? We speak our truth, and those are things that we need to do. Speak our truth, and I think that's what's really cool about this show. I always say that we have such great guests that come on and talk about real things, that are experts about what they know and what they do. Uh, and it's hard too because there's so many weird things. When you go out, when you go out and about in the area, people want to touch your hair. It was funny. I had a medallion on, and I was at a different thing, and people just came up and started touching me and touching my medallion. It was really bizarre, but I know a lot of Native women have issues. People just come up and touch their hair. It's just a
Yeah.
bizarre kind of thing, Haley.
Yeah. And, I've had that happen to me, which is, might be a hard thing to, I don't know. I think when it comes for me, I've had people come up and touch my hair, but I feel like when I look at myself, I have European descent from my mom's side, and then my native side comes from my dad's side. So, it's I can't always tell if people are trying to touch my hair because, it's native or it's beautiful, whatever.
Oh,
Well, thank you. Right. It
yeah.
is beautiful. I will say that. I did win best hair in high school. Shout out to me. But I don't know. It is uncomfortable. I would say to anyone, I wouldn't go up and touch them without their consent. Doesn't matter who you are. It's just an uncomfortable thing. I feel like no matter who you are.
Yeah, it's a boundary thing, definitely. But I just thought it was bizarre that people were, touching this medallion I had, and it's just like it was just, it made me think of our sisters and even brothers that get their hair touched. It's just a bizarre
Hmm.
thing. So, in that case, if you're an ally out there, which I know you are, if you're listening to the show, ask first. That's all.
Hmm.
It's just ask first, and
Right.
we can accommodate. And especially, it sounds like Haley too. She's like showing off her beautiful hair. So mine's
Well,
mine's thinning out, so I don't want anyone to touch it. Might get a glob of hair in their hands if they touch my
oh,
hair. Yeah,
sacred.
yeah.
They could take it home with them.
Uh, Make a doll out of it, right? Oh, yeah.
Well, that reminds me of that story that we were following, I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago out of Colorado. I think it was Denver or Boulder area of that. The Dakota elder who was in the hospital and had to have that surgery or procedure done, and they cut off his hair
Yeah.
without his consent. Like he was sleeping or, under medication, and they cut his hair and they didn't tell his family why. They didn't get consent. I don't think there was a justified reason to cutting his hair for any medical procedure. And the hospital couldn't tell the family where the hair went.
Right. Just bizarre stuff like that.
Right.
It's just bizarre stuff. It's just like, one of the reasons that I grew my hair long is because of the bullying that goes on in schools with our young ones that grow their hair. And it's just like, I need to grow my hair in solidarity. It's
Yeah.
it's correct. Yeah, I'm just reading what Lori put up there. It's heartbreaking how much darkness is out there. Robert is correct. We stand and speak our truth. We shine light in this darkness. It is a violation, but they don't know, and we have to keep speaking the truth. Thank you, Lori. Big peeny gigi for typing that in, and anybody else can write to us too, as long as it's nice and powerful, like Lori just did. And Santia, we love you. We just want to give you a big shout out too.
Yeah, all of our regular live stream commenters, we appreciate you out there, and we love sifting through your comments. I want to go back to the governor of South Dakota, Robert,
Yes.
and that story that you brought up. So, governor of South Dakota, Kristi Noem, I guess I had to look her name up because I was not familiar with who she is.
Yep.
And this is the one that is now banned from one of the reservations out there.
Yep.
And I had to look her name up. The first thing that came up on Google here is her marital affair with Corey Lewandowski, a former campaign manager and current advisor for guess who?
Donald Crump.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, that's what the word is, that she's going to be his VP, and she even said, and I don't think it was in this article, but she even said that she would have not done what Pence did, and she would have counted the fake electors. So
gosh.
we have that to look forward to, and I think
Jeez.
we still have to speak our truth and talk about politics, and it's painful at times, but I really believe, when it comes to voting for the Democratic Party, they're much easier to get more progressive than it would be voting for a Republican that votes against one thing, Haley, and then goes to the celebration when they're whether it's funding or whatever they vote against, and then they act like they voted for it. It's just a upside down world. And we got people's guests that come in and talk about these things, and thank goodness, like Lori said, people coming to the show, including Lori and people like that, speak their truth and in a good way, and we get our allies and our native allies all fired up in a good way. So hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Are you thinking about college? Consider checking out Minnesota Private Colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no two colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl. J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
The vehicle for the Minnesota family is the Toyota Sienna, and the best place to get one is Rudy Luther Toyota in Golden Valley. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. I have 3 kids, and the Sienna hauls all your kids' sports and school gear easily. I can attest they're the safest vehicles, trust me, protecting your most valuable cargo. They're the perfect vehicle for the spring break or summer road trip, and the hybrid model is insanely fuel efficient. And Rudy Luther Toyota has a great selection of new and certified pre-owned Siennas. Get one today. It's my highest recommendation. Rudy Luther Toyota, west of Minneapolis on 394. Hi, everyone. Matt McNeil here. We have a big announcement. February is AM 950 Listener Appreciation Month. Even though this station has a powerhouse lineup throughout the day, this station wouldn't exist without you, the loyal listeners of AM 950. And we want to let you know how much we appreciate you listening. Thanks to the generosity of our member listeners, we have a few extra tickets to give away for a listener appreciation event. This is a special thank you to you, our listeners. All this week, listen to the Matt McNeil Show, Native Roots Radio, and Ghost Box Radio for your chance to win a pair of tickets to our listener appreciation event, Meet and Greet, on February 13th. There are also chances to win tickets by liking our Facebook page and by signing up for the AM 950 e-newsletter on am950radio.com. Tune into AM 950 throughout the entire month of February for other giveaways, like gift cards to restaurants and more. It's our way of thanking you for being a listener to AM 950. You are appreciated. Thanks from everyone at the Progressive Voice of Minnesota, AM 950.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 38, then Wednesday, cloudy and breezy with a high of 54. The renowned musical satirist Randy Rainbow is bringing his Randy Rainbow for President tour to the State Theater in Minneapolis on Friday, February 23rd. Get your tickets at randyrainbow.com.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hey, we are with our friend, former North Dakota State Representative Ruth Buffalo, and we're really happy to have you on here for a quick segment and a big check-in. Ruth, have you seen what our friends in Pine Ridge proclaimed a few days ago?
I did.
We were talking a little bit about that. Do you have anything to add? It's pretty, just have to put the fist up and say, right on. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, sovereignty is a big deal.
It is, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch tribal nations exert their sovereignty. I remember Cheyenne River doing the same during COVID. You know, taking control of their borders, and so it's good to see that. It's good to see that.
Absolutely. Hey, so we're checking in. What do you got going? Hopefully we're going to see you in a couple weeks here in the Twin Cities on MMIWR March here in Minneapolis, and people listening in can come down and meet Ruth. But it's also a day of celebration, but also mourning and seriousness too.
Yes, for sure. It's always a heavy day, you know, because we want to acknowledge those that are still missing and the families who are grieving. And, you know, I think it's so important to find support for our relatives who are still searching for their loved ones. So I think that support is so important.
Yeah. So what do you have going on? What have you been doing lately since you last been on? Just, you know, the usual community work and just trying to help where I can. And I'm a mom, so, you know, we're juggling our family schedules and actually coaching the girl twin this year. So that's been something fun. And so, yeah, just, you know, trying to stay well and contribute to generational healing and all the good things. Well, Ruth, last time we were on too, it was kind of a teaser when I was asking you about running again. I know it's just crazy that you got gerrymandered out of a seat. You know, your support was gerrymandered out of your district. What are your feelings about that? And is there anything we can look forward to from Ruth Anna Buffalo?
Well, I'm, you know, trying to help where I can, you know, in every level. We're trying to, as I mentioned before, we're trying to get more representation within those spaces. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear just somebody talking in the background a little bit, but we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we're trying to get more representation in those district seats, you know, delegates for the presidential nomination convention that's going to be in Chicago in August. But locally within North Dakota, we have our state convention. We have a couple different conventions. We have one at the county level. That'll be beginning of March, first weekend in March, that Saturday for Cass County in North Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota. And then later we'll have in April, we'll have our state convention in Fargo this year. And so we really want to push this information out to everyone so that everyone has access to this information. So a lot of awareness and education on how to navigate those spaces.
Yeah, we have a group, and there's a national group called Make Voting a Tradition here in the Twin Cities. I'm sure you heard of it. Well, do you guys have anything like that in the Dakotas?
Um, we have North Dakota Native Vote,
Yeah.
which is affiliated with a organization, sorry, tongue-tied here. They're Western Native Vote, out of Montana. They are affiliated with that organization, so they're doing a lot of good work. I was involved in a lot of those early conversations of getting that off the ground and what it would look like in North Dakota. So they've been, that organization, North Dakota Native Vote, is doing a lot of good things statewide, also legislatively, but within Fargo, North Dakota, we do have a training coming up. It'll be hosted by Local Innovative Leadership Initiative, which is INC, but the acronym is LILI. And so we chose the Lili first, and then we just tried to find words that would fit to our acronym of Lili, because in our culture, when women Lili, they're honoring someone, honoring our relatives, honoring our warriors. And so we landed on Local Innovative Leadership Initiative. And so this was founded right at the beginning of the pandemic. And we were given a $500 seed grant from one of the New Women's Leadership Institutes in the Fargo-Moorhead area, which I'm an alumni from 2011. So it's a really great program. They provide seed grants to alumni. And so we got a $500 seed grant right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit. So that was at a little standstill. But right now we're hosting our first public event, and that'll be Saturday, February 17th at Fargo at the Regional Small Business Center. Our trainer is Prairie Rose Seminole, and the topic is storytelling and public speaking, but also stressing the importance of you are the leaders that we want and need. So really trying to cast a wide net again and pull more people in to give them that exposure and those tools that they might not have otherwise had access to.
Yeah, stepping up and running and getting involved and speaking in front of large crowds is huge, and we've proven time and time again. We all put our pants on the same way, one leg at a time, and people should not be afraid, because there's people like you that have led the way and in a good way.
Mads, yeah, I'm introvert, I would say, at heart, very shy. It's a very shy individual growing up. And so, public speaking is not something that I think comes natural to myself or to many others, and oftentimes can be seen as a barrier to wanting to help with change or create change or be a catalyst for change in your community. But I think if you speak to an issue that's near and dear to your heart, then I think that's half the battle, is finding out what your passion is. And a lot of the public speaking oftentimes comes out of necessity, whether or not you have to take courage and provide testimony at a public hearing, at within your local municipality, within your tribal community, within your state, so it's an important skill to have. And it's really Prairie Rose Seminole has been doing this work for a long time. She was a young member. I think she was 16 years old when she was serving on the Fargo Native American Commission. So it's good to see that she's still giving back to our communities. And I mentioned last time, my daughter is the youngest member of our North Dakota Democratic Nonpartisan League State Policy Committee. And so we're just trying to pull more people in and see how we can help with the shift that is going to happen regardless. There is a shift happening regardless, of what's happening in the world.
Well, exactly. And I agree. And that's one of the things I just wanted to touch on here the last few minutes with you, is just how important it is to suit up and show up and cast a vote. There's so many things going on that are outside of us. I mean, we always joke Haley's a Gen Zer, and she's never been polled before. So we have all these scary polls all the time. and they don't come true. And they want to make it that people are afraid and don't want to vote.
Yes, no, we definitely, I love that, what you mentioned, voting is a tradition, making it a part of, your kitchen table talk conversations, or just being second nature, just being able to know that you're going to vote and understanding the process. But how things have been going in North Dakota is there's always these little roadblocks that try to prevent people from gaining equal access to the ballot box. And so that, this work is long-term, and we're definitely in it for the long haul of making sure that people have access to accurate information, and they know the different avenues to take action in whichever government or whichever community they may reside in.
That reminds me of what you guys were dealing with a couple elections ago, where they were moving off the res, moving them very far away, making it very difficult for people to vote.
Yes, originally I'm from Mandaree, North Dakota, which is located in western North Dakota on the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation. And for the longest time, we've had 2 polling locations in Mandaree. Fort Berthold Indian Reservation is unique in that we have 6 different counties that intersect it. And we're also very close to the mountain time zone as well. And so one of the polling locations located out in the country was shut down with no notice given to community members who live out in the country, west of Mandaree. And so because of that, they had to travel to Dunn County courthouse, which is on the other side of the Badlands. If to get to North Dakota, to get to Mandaree, there's a couple different ways to get there, but the south of Mandaree is the Badlands, and so you have to go through the Badlands to get to Dunn Center, which is on the other side of Killdeer. And so that's about an hour and a half drive one way for a lot of our elderly women who live in rural out in the country in Mandaree. So definitely posed some serious barriers. We will be having a presidential primary in North Dakota, a Democratic presidential primary. And so we will have pop-up polling locations in all of the tribal communities throughout North Dakota. And aside from that, it will be mail-in ballots for all the other locations in North Dakota.
Well, and just to amplify this and talk about this is a good thing, because that was so crazy when that was happening, and hopefully that's not the case this election. But there's a lot of stuff going on, and we just have to be we have to follow through, and then help our elders and help our young ones to get out to the polls.
For sure. We definitely have to pay attention, and we can't trust that others are looking out for our best interests. So we also have to really do our homework and make sure that we're keeping our communities informed with accurate information.
Well, we just got it here. One of our listeners says we love Ruth Anna, and so do we here.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you so much. All right. Have a great day. Peeny Gigi for stopping in, and we'll see you soon.
See you.
Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us. The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Become a teacher and ignite change. Join the St. Paul Urban Residency Program to become a teacher in just 15 months. You can earn your master's degree and teaching license from the University of St. Thomas while earning a $30,000 stipend, single health care, and dental benefits. As an added bonus, next year's cohort, all residents will receive $20,000 towards their tuition. Apply now. Applications due February 28, 2024. Visit spps.org/SUTR. Hey, if you're like a lot of people, you're probably relieved that the holiday celebrations are over. But there's one thing that might stay with us from the holidays besides all those gifts, and that's COVID-19. Numbers from COVID are going up as we spend more time inside. And Native Americans are seeing even bigger case spikes. With all the indoor celebrations over the holidays, you may have unknowingly been exposed to someone with COVID-19. That's why it's important to stay vigilant. If you notice any symptoms like a fever, a tickle in the throat, or heavy fatigue, take an at-home test. They're still free and can be ordered at sayyeshometest.org. If you do test positive, you're eligible for free treatment, and no health insurance is required. Visit health.state.mn.us to connect with providers and receive your treatment. Let's make 2024 the healthiest year ever, securing a brighter future for our Native community. Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
How? Well, hey, we got a few minutes here left in the show. Haley, why don't we get with Wendy and her update?
Absolutely.
Take it away.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you, Robert. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajingo, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level, and it's always my pleasure to do that. I've been in New York for a little bit here, and I'm telling you, the most popular question I get from people around is, Wendy, where can I get a dog? People just seem to know, and I tell people that I, work with the Humane Society of the United States, and they think that I'm, adopting animals out, but that's not what we do. We work on policy and laws and ordinances in different states. So I work in Minnesota. So what I want to talk to you about today is the best way to find a pet. Now, I'm going to be against going to a breeder just because there's so many, dogs out there in the world that need help, and you could find a dog without going to a breeder. A breeder is, of course, just breeding more dogs, and we have enough dogs right now in the United States. Every single solitary person has to have 4 dogs each to combat the homeless dog population. So I don't want 4 dogs, and I know you don't want 4 dogs, right? So first I would say, check out your local shelter. I was just on MAC, which is the Minneapolis Care and Control in Minneapolis. They're at 212 17th Avenue in North Minneapolis. And they have plenty of dogs there, and the staff is really good, and they really work with the dogs so they could tell you a little bit about the dog. I really hate to say this, but they do euthanize dogs. So they will have a dog on their red alert that needs, adoption, or a rescue organization to come in and get the dog, or a person to come in and adopt the dog. The red alert is usually with dogs who have a specific behavioral problem. But over the years, I've met so many people who have training, and they're really good with dogs, and that the dog just needs time to be trained. And it's not the dog's fault. It's not the breed. It's just what happened to the dog and the previous owner that was not responsible and didn't put in the time and the training. And that's why the dog is in the shelter with a behavioral problem and is on the red alert list. So check that out first. But if there's a website that I really love, it is called Pet Finder. It's one word. I've talked to you guys about this before, Pet Finder, and I just love it because I just went on it now, and I'm in New York, and I love it because it will sort for you. So I went on and I entered the city and the zip code where I am, and it says, okay, now let's find your best match. So what you could do is you go on the filter, and the filter will say, well, first of all, do you want a dog or a cat? Which breed do you want? I put any breed. It didn't matter. Do you want a puppy? Do you want a young dog, an adult dog, or a senior? So I said, okay, let's pick a senior. Robert and I have always said that, from now on in our lives, since, we're getting up there, we would only adopt a senior dog. And they always seem so sweet and appreciative. So that's what we're going to do. Next, you could pick the size of the dog. Do you want a little dog? Do you want a 100-pound dog? You could pick out any dog in between. So I picked out from 0 to 25 pounds because we generally like our little dogs. And then gender. Now, Robert and I we've had male dogs or female dogs, but I picked a female dog. So I clicked on female. And again, you could just say any dog. It doesn't matter. And then you could sort by nearest. Are you willing to travel 80 miles away to pick up the dog or find the dog? Are you willing to only go 10 miles? So you could put in how far you are willing to go to get this dog. And then there's the last click. Is the dog good with other dogs? Is the dog good with other cats? Is the dog good with kids? So if you have kids, you have other dogs or cats, you want to know that information. That's important information. You don't want to bring a dog into your house that, you might have a problem with. So I did all of that, and I got an amazing search of all these small senior dogs that are available in my area. Mostly like little Chihuahua mixes, a little Shih Tzu mix, really, really cute little senior dogs. And I was really surprised about how many there were. There were just so many. So there are so many great dogs out there. Oh, and the other click you could click on is, do you want a dog that's already potty trained? So I clicked yes, but we have, and Robert has, he's a really good champion at training dogs to go potty outside. You need a lot of patience to do this, especially with an older dog. If the dog, doesn't know how to do this already. And again, that would be the previous owner or the life that this dog had in the past that doesn't go outside and go potty. But a lot of little dogs too will go and they're potty trained to go potty on potty pads, which is something that they can do. So I always recommend Pet Finder. Please go on their website, and you can just do it for fun. Just go on Pet Finder and just click on all the different sorting mechanisms that they have, and you could just build your own dog. That's what I really like about it. And also check out your local shelter. A lot of times, again, these dogs are there, the cats are there for no, reason except that they, a lot of people just get dogs and they find out very shortly that they don't have enough time. They don't know what to do if the dog is acting in a particular way. They don't know how to train the dog. They're not willing to put in the time. So you do need the time. My little Wanda here, she's a little Shih Tzu. I've talked about her before. She's a little 9-pound Shih Tzu, and she doesn't like other dogs. So when we take a walk, I have to be careful to cross the street or, avoid other dogs because she just goes crazy. The first year of her life, she was in a puppy mill and she wasn't socialized with other dogs. So she doesn't like other dogs. But we're at the point now, and we've had her 7 years. And she's at the point now where we go on a walk and she knows if she sees another dog, I want to reward her for not barking. And she'll sit. She'll see the other dog. She looks at me. She sits because she knows if she's a good girl and doesn't bark, she's going to get a treat. So we've been really working on that for a really long time, and she's really doing really well. So with that, check out Pet Finder. Find your best friend. And back to you, Robert. Back to you, Haley. Thanks a lot.
Hey, a big peeny giggy Wendy, build your own dog on petfinder.com. I like that information. Hey, if you're listening to this show, you're part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground in which we stand on is sacred ground. It is the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, vote, vote, vote. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
And free Leonard Peltier. Now.
Wajile.